All right, everybody. It's Tom the Som. I'm One Grape Guy, and we are kicking off the spring wine series on aggc.info. And today we're going to be doing Vermentinos. A couple really nice ones. We're doing two different styles today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I've got about a dozen wines set up for the next 12 weeks that are perfect for this time of year. As spring is coming along, things are warming up all over. Hopefully they're warming up. And we'll be tasting the two different styles. So Vermentino can act a lot differently. You know, it's depending on where it's grown. We're going to dive into its two personalities, a light and zesty one from Sardinia, and a rich and complex one from Tuscany. So it's a little bit of fun, something you can learn about and enjoy. And we're going to be doing this every week. So every Monday, if you don't subscribe to us, go to aggc.info, go to the bottom of the page and fill out the form, email, name, etc., and we'll send you an email every Monday that tells you about the featured wine of the week. Later on in the week, on Facebook, Instagram, eventually TikTok, once we figure out what's going on with them, we'll be able to, you'll be able to see us tasting, and I'll be tasting with chefs, restaurateurs, wine personalities, just all different fun people. Just people, everyday people who just enjoy wine. So we'll be doing that every week moving forward. And if you're not familiar with aggc.info, it's a Grape Guy Consulting. We do wine and beverage classes, and I've been a sommelier for over 30 years. And we've got a lot of fun stuff that we're turning on to people. I work with a lot of hospitality employees, work with retail, whether they're associates working at your local wine shop or liquor store, or people who are selling you the products for the distributors. So we've got a bunch of people who we've worked with in the past, and we decided to get it onto an online course, launched it a couple of months ago, and here we are. So every week, a lot of fun, and we're going to start now with Vermentino. Vermentino, do you know that Vermentino is called the wine of the sea because it can have a salty, kind of refreshing character? And I saw this in when I was doing Scotch classes. There's some areas of Scotland, the Isles, that are the sea air, the different parts of the surroundings influence the Scotch there, here the wine grapes here. We talk about terroir, about the environment around the grapes, how it affects the flavors. The longer it's in the terroir and the longer it's on the vines, the more it absorbs a lot of these amazing nuances and makes it really exciting. So from Sardinia, you get a nice, light, crisp, refreshing wine. You go up to Tuscany, and this wine is more complex, more balanced, richer, fuller. So I'm going to start now pouring with the Sardinian. Actually, I'm going to pour them both, compare them side to side. You notice even the bottles are different. So the Sardinian wine comes in a bottle, looks almost like a bottle you would get a Pinot Grigio or a Sauvignon Blanc in, kind of a high shoulder bottle. That's going to be a little bit lighter style. And then you've got a richer Tuscan style slope, looks kind of like what you would get a Chardonnay in, right? So that kind of gives you a little hint on what these might be like. Double check both of them are 2023 vintages. So I'm going to start with the Sardinian wine. This is Castamolino. Definitely got a good acidity to it. Really kind of vibrant. I really think that's an exciting wine. Does have floral notes to it, which is a little unexpected. Really fascinating wine. Get the lighting, as you can see, it's a little bit lighter in style. And the second one, a little bit darker. Not like a Chardonnay. The notes on this nose alone tend to lean towards a little bit more of a nuttiness. Definitely heavier on the palate, richer, rounder. I'm going to say it's got a little bit of oak in this. And that's the other difference too. When you're looking at the Sardinian wines, you're going to see more stainless steel, traditional fermentation, and you're going to see oak aging from Tuscany. Definitely a lot richer. You get a kind of a more nutty, almondy. Here you are getting a little more floral notes to it. So I'm curious on everybody's style of wine. You know, this time of year, as it's warming up in a lot of places. I live in Florida, so it's warm most of the time. But even when the weather does cool off a little bit, you know, we tend to gravitate more towards richer whites, heavier reds, that sort of thing. I like, you know, depending on the weather, depending on the climate you're in, depending on what you're eating with it, you know, I'll enjoy a nice light, white, crisp wine, or I'll enjoy a little bit richer, rounder style, depending on what I'm eating. And I'm here at CNC Wood Fired Eats in Key Largo, so these guys are going to bring out a little bit of food for me to taste back and forth. I've got a roasted spring veggie rigatoni that should really showcase, should really set off with the Sardinian wine. And then I've got a truffle fire roasted artichoke dip, which I'm going to try, with both. But I'm definitely thinking that the artichoke dip is going to really work with the wood. Obviously, it's got fire roasted, so that should pair quite a bit better. The two regions, you're going to have to pretend this is backwards, where you see we've got an island and Tuscany. They're both circled on the map. Obviously, this is it's being reversed. It's a mirror image, but I think most of you can figure that out. But definitely different climates, different areas are going to have the wine react differently. And it's just like with Pinot Grigio and Pinot Gris. Pinot Grigio, generally you see them coming from Italy, warmer climate. It tends to be lighter, tends to be more citrusy, minerally, lighter bodied. You get the ones coming from Alsace in France. Those ones tend to be more medium bodied, more floral notes, and more tree fruit characteristics. And that's very similar to what we have going on right here with the Vermentinos. So just another example of how the climate is going to change things. talking about what I would pair with each of these, the lighter style, definitely your fish, your fresh salads, even a sushi, it'll cut through the sushi, the acid in it. You know, our Tuscan Vermentino is going to be more, you know, roasted vegetables. That's what we'll be having here in a little bit. Grilled fish, creamy risottos work really well with it. Anything that's got a little bit of richness to it. So that's basically what we're going to be trying here in a few minutes. I definitely want to get everybody on board with, if you haven't been to our website, please check it out. We're really, like I said, just kicking it off. It's been a class that I've been teaching for 30 years and working with restaurant employees for that amount of time, and just giving them the foundation. You know, the course basically talks about the history of beer and wine, the way it's made, how it came about, the different styles of beer that are produced, and the different grapes that we use for wine. Wine, you know, there's thousands of different grapes out there, but there's only certain ones that we use for wine, probably, I don't know, 12, 1,300 at the most. But when it comes down to it, what do you see when you go out to eat? Maybe the same 15, 20 wines, grapes I should say, that are being made into wine. So it's just something that we want to, you know, get you familiar with. And then of course, storing, pouring techniques, little things like that give you a little bit of fun. And then every week you'll get little tidbits, little educational pops here and there, just fun things like that. It's all about enjoying beverages. You know, I'm from the school of, you know, beverages, yes, they can be drunk on their own when I'm talking beer and wine, but they're also a big part of the meal. Very, you know, very important. How they've evolved over the years, and that's what it evolved from. I mean, obviously, when, you know, the grains were getting wet and fermenting, and somebody decided to taste it to see what it was like and got a buzz off of it, and decided, hey, this is what, there's something to this, let's try this again. You know, that's where beer came from. Beer, you know, came before wine. And then eventually, the same thing happened with wine. The grapes stored in a bin, somebody left it, somebody wasn't paying attention, next thing you know, it's fermenting. Next thing you know, it's our new favorite drink. So, like I said, we've got some food coming out here in a few minutes. I'm going to let these wines open up, give a little. This Sardinian wine, very, very beautiful nose, very elegant, does have floral notes to it, more than I really expected. A lot of times they talk about having the sea, the saltiness to it, and you do get a little hint of that sea air aroma. Almost got a hint of, I hate to say sweet, but there's something that's very fragrant on the mid-late palate. It'll take me a minute on that one. I'll go back to the Tuscan. And this one the nose keeps getting bolder and bolder. It's getting more herbal notes coming out of it now. Really excited to try this one with the roasted vegetable rigatoni. steak. It's definitely got more grip on the tongue. Nice long finish too. Like that, like I was saying, that nuttiness is really coming through. So we'll be going through a lot of different, we've got some fun wine. We've got to have a Grenache next week. So for those who aren't familiar with Grenache, generally it's a lighter, more garnet style wine, medium bodied. We're going to be trying one from Spain, a Garnacha, and tasting that with some food. So we'll be having some fun with that next week. The week after, we'll be doing Steen. If you're not familiar with Steen, it's Chenin Blanc from South Africa. Again, a medium-bodied white this time, and it's going to have a little more characteristic to it. A lot of fun notes to it. So I'm really excited about the next couple of weeks. We'll be continuing down that road with a whole list of fun wines to kind of turn you on to. I want stuff, we want to introduce you to things that aren't your typical Cab Merlot, Chardonnay wines, Pinot Grigio wines that you're used to getting. We will be trying some of those, and we'll be talking about those also, but the whole goal of this is the education part of it. We really want you to see, try new things, hear about new ones. Wines that'll go well, for the time of season it is. In the summertime, we find some fun, light wines from Italy, Dolcetto, Barbera, like Pinot Noir, but you don't hear about them a lot. And they're very light, very refreshing, things you can drink if you're a red wine drinker, to drink in the summertime. Also, introduce you to some fun rosés. As as a red wine drinker, a lot of people, who are red wine drinkers, maybe switch to something else in the summertime. But you can have a rosé, you can have a lighter style wine. There's some fun ones out there that have the flavors, and that we were talking about it at one of the classes that I was teaching. Pairing red wine with fish. The two no-nos on that, if you're familiar with tannin structure, is you don't want the tannins, a real tannic wine, with the oils in the fish. They'll fight each other. I tell a story of years ago, I was out with a friend having a fantastic dinner. We had a great Cabernet blend, enjoyed it with our appetizer. Actually, we started with a sparkling wine. We didn't finish it, and we had that with an appetizer. And then we had a red wine with the salad. We were talking, enjoying it. We ordered fish. The fish came out, took a bite of the fish, and thought, oh no, the fish is bad. Then I took a sip of my fantastic red wine, and the wine tasted so bitter. Well, the oils in the fish brought the bitter tannins out of the red wine and made it just a whole different experience. And what we ended up doing was going back to the sparkling wine, cleansing our palates, eating the fish, fantastic. Finishing with that, and then keeping that red wine for a nice chocolate dessert that we ended up finishing with. Flourless chocolate torte, which was at the time very popular. You still see them every once in a while. All right, so our food should be coming up here shortly. Like I said, please share this. When you see this, share this with your friends. We're going to be doing this every week. We're going to try to do this on a Wednesday or Thursday. So we'll have the feature wine of the week posted on an email, on social media, depending on where you follow us. So you'll be able to find it there. And then that'll be just tidbits, information, introducing you to what it is, wine pairings with it, styles, little fun factoids. And then on Wednesday and Thursdays, moving forward, we'll actually sit down with some fun folks and taste it together. You won't just be listening to me, yep, yep, yep. It'll be a group of a few people. So let's see what we got here. I am going to be right back, so I'm going to go check on my food and see if we got that coming up. It should be coming up any minute. And what else do we got to talk about? Oh, let's go over this real quick. So obviously you found us on Facebook. I'm going to be putting this out there on my feeds. It is a Grape Guy Consulting on Facebook. And on Instagram, it's a Grape Guy, all one word. All right, here we go. We got the goodies coming. So starting with the artichoke, truffle, fire roasted artichoke dip. I'm pretty excited about this. Like I said, we will be coming into TikTok pretty soon. If you would like to get our emails, you'll get them every Monday, and we'll give you a little bits about everything. And we're going to be encouraging everybody on Mondays. We're going to talk about that, expose that grape. Then we're going to taste it in the middle of the week. If you go out and get it and you want to take some fun pictures on it, we're going to be giving away free courses and stuff for anybody who's posting or tagging us. And I'm going that way. All right, I'm pretty excited here because these guys do a great job here. All right, I'm going to try the fire roasted artichoke dip, which is a little bit richer, obviously. Truffles, big flavors. The Sardinian Vermentino, it's got the higher acidity. It's going to cut through it. It's going to give us a fresh taste of it. There's two ways to pair. You can pair either complementary or contrasting. If it's contrasting, you want something that's going to cut through, different, higher acidity, and that's going to give you fresh tastes of the food. Complementary is going to be something with similar flavors that will work together, meld together, and bring you to, hopefully, something, a more amazing experience. The heaviness of flavors. Now, when I took a bite of that, I got the truffle, very well balanced. As soon as the wine hit it, the truffle kind of popped right out. The wine tastes much more crisp and light than it did before. Delicious. All right, now we're off to thank you. We're off to Tuscany for the next bite. Like I was talking about, when you have a complementary wine and food pairing, then you're going to take those flavors from both the wine and the food and kind of elevate it, and that's exactly what happened here. Turn it into a totally different flavor. It was good, really good with the Sardinian Vermentino. The Tuscan one was just melding together, just a whole totally different. This is like you're eating two different foods. Very, very, very good. All right, the next pairing is with their roasted spring vegetable rigatoni, which has got asparagus, broccolini, zucchini, red onions, tomatoes, basil, fresh Parmesan on top, big chunks of fresh Parmesan, and a garlic lemon olive oil. So this, here again, we're going to see the difference between these two wines and how they work together. Trying to get a few greens in there with it. Broccolini in the first bite. Now, the flavors are so rich that this wine really lightens up a lot. You still get the little bit of the acidity on it that's cutting through everything with the roasted veggies and the Parmesan, and the acidity of the tomatoes, which cancels out the acidity in the wine. So you get this nice, just floral, pleasant wine, but not at all like it was with the artichokes. With the artichokes, you got an explosion of flavor. So now I'm pretty excited about this next taste with the Tuscan Vermentino. This is so much bolder. You get the roasted vegetable and the wood in the wine really complementing each other again. The fruits kind of diminish a little bit with this. Back to the first wine. Nice, even acidity, like we talked about, goes away. It makes it a softer wine. again, the oak and the roasted vegetables kind of even each other out. You get more of the pasta, the Parmesan, the acidity from the tomatoes in there. Just two different experiences. So a lot of fun. We're going to be doing this every week. You get a chance to share with your friends. Like I said, on Instagram, you'll find us there. We do recommend that you do sign up for our emails. There'll be a lot more than just giving you our little fun factoids, our weekly wine. So come join us every week. aggc.info, Grape Consulting, and get ready to have some fun with us. We'll see you soon.